Let's be honest, the market is complete trash right now. Bitcoin went sideways for several months. The stablecoin market cap went sideways for more than 2 months. There's no expansion whatsoever. There's no new people jumping onto crypto channels. There's very little growth in social media around crypto. So how should prices rise when there's no new people jumping in? It's a real problem. It's a real player versus player game now. If you're currently making money in this market, you are better than other players. There's no new money coming in, so any gain that you're currently making is directly taken away from somebody else that doesn't time the market as well. You might have better data than others, you might track wallets better than others, that's how you are currently making money, but the market as a whole is super tough. And the longer it stays tough, the more the capital concentrates in fewer and fewer hands, and the more people tend to exit. So the market simply doesn't just stay stagnant for a while. If it stays stagnant for long enough, the market will crash. People that lose money in a market tend to exit the market, right? They're not going to add more capital forever. But here's the problem in a market like this. Trading meme coins is pretty much like trying to pick the needle in the haystack. Most altcoins tend to underperform Bitcoin most of the time. And in a market that doesn't expand, that's truer than ever. Only very few altcoins outperform Bitcoin sometimes. They don't outperform forever, they outperform for a short, brief period of time. And when the market as a whole isn't lifting all boats, then it's very likely that if you play this game for long enough, the capital concentrates into the fewer and fewer hands, into the more and more skilled people, the people that have more and more insider information, and it's simply just a losing game. There is a solution to all of this though. If we are currently not obviously in a bull run, right, which is the case, then instead of trying to find this one needle in the haystack, why not bet on the haystack? As in, why not bet on most altcoins underperforming Bitcoin? So when you are currently buying the meme coin, right, you're trying to find that needle, you're betting on rising prices, you're buying the coin. But there's also plenty of altcoins that tend to underperform Bitcoin, that tend to do worse than Bitcoin, that can be shorted, where you can borrow the token. You take out a loan denominated in the token, and the token then tends to underperform Bitcoin. Now, this doesn't work all the time, and sometimes there are short squeezes, and you can lose a lot of money with that. But when most altcoins underperform most of the time, especially in a market that's not expanding, I believe it's a safer way to generate alpha. It's a bit more complex, right? We have to learn about shorting, especially when we use Web3, when we don't use centralized exchanges. Setting this all up isn't that straightforward, and you can't short every single asset. You have to be somewhat selective. But as a general guideline, right? As a general guide in a market that doesn't see new people coming in, why not bet on that expanding supply in the altcoin? Why not bet on the insiders continuing to sell? Why not bet on the token dilution? When the altcoins tend to go down, why not bet on that? Now, they might not go down always in US dollar valuation because, again, sometimes we see those random pumps, and when all of crypto is going up, then of course the altcoins tend to go up as well. But as a relative valuation, right, when we just look at the altcoin price relative to Bitcoin or relative to Ethereum, we tend to see charts that aren't actually that volatile. They don't go up and down that much. They go down relatively constantly. Again, because a lot of the ups in many altcoins are just generated by the overall market going up, not necessarily by idiosyncratic movements of that altcoin. So nothing in crypto is safe, right? Nothing in crypto is certain. Crypto is a game of probabilities. It is a game of odds. But when a market isn't expanding, getting the right odds on our side, I believe, is key. So not every short position will work, but most short positions should work in a market like this. Simply just being directionally correct is already half the battle, I believe. Let's say we want to follow that strategy, and I followed this in the prior bear market, then I switched over my strategy to going long in October of last year. Now I am considering to go short again because we haven't seen any expansion for a long time. So I'm very likely very soon going to reorganize my entire portfolio. What are the right kind of assets to short? Where should we bet on falling prices? I believe it's not the popular shorts, as in it's not necessarily the tokens where everybody thinks they will go down, because then a short squeeze is very likely, because then it's very profitable to short-term push up the price. But I also don't think it makes sense to short whatever is currently hyped, right? When people still think about AI coins potentially doing well, maybe short-term they will. So I don't want to necessarily short whatever is currently super hyped and want to bet on a crash.
This needs to go to 1 million, or March buyers now will make millions. This is how you get the clicks on YouTube, but this is not how you beat the market. To beat the market in crypto, you need to be better informed than the rest. You need to be better skilled than the rest. You need to do better blockchain analytics. You need to track other people's wallets and know what is the smart money doing. It's the boring educational content that forms skill that doesn't perform so well on YouTube though. That's why I created the premium membership. Feel free to check it out. We are tracking influencer wallets to find out what they are buying before promoting this on YouTube. We've got a lot of tutorials to help with on-chain analytics, to help with wallet discovery. And of course, there are also plenty of chats where we help each other, and also one-on-one conversations with me. So I'm messaging every premium member one-on-one directly. Once you're joining, you will get a message from me and you have the opportunity to directly pick my brain. Feel free to check it out. TheBitcoinTrader.com, link is down below.
So I don't want to necessarily short the asset that's currently being hyped, where everybody still believes in a rising price, because it could potentially short-term rise. You also don't want to short the asset that everybody believes will go down, so where there's a lot of agreement. If everything is hyped, right, you have obviously a problem, it can continue, and then you don't want to be in a short. If everybody thinks the price will go down and there's strong agreement, then maybe there are already enough short positions out there. And when there are enough short positions already opened, then it does make sense for some people with very deep pockets to induce a short squeeze and buy up the token, because then you, as the person that's shorting, has to buy back the token for a higher price. So what you want to short is exactly the middle ground. So the assets where nobody is talking about, the assets that tend to get forgotten over time, the assets that have an increasing token supply, where nobody is talking about them, that tend to very constantly underperform Bitcoin and Ethereum with low volatility. That's the kind of assets to short. You don't want to do the popular shorts. You don't want to do the shorts of assets that go up. You want to short the things that get forgotten. Because this is how crypto works, right? Crypto is a game of attention. And price tends to be highly correlated with attention. That's why YouTubers make so much money pumping and dumping, right? When they talk about a token, a lot of attention gets onto that token and the price tends to go up. They generate attention, and with it they generate a price rally. Attention and price is correlated. Thus, when we want to bet on falling prices, we shouldn't necessarily bet on fair valuations. We shouldn't necessarily bet on retracements. We should be betting on assets where we believe the attention will continue to decline. We want to bet on the things that we believe will get forgotten in a year or two. And then, of course, you also want to diversify this across different altcoins, right? Because one altcoin might not go down, but if the vast majority of altcoins tends to underperform, then that makes sense to at least bet on the relative valuations, right? You don't have to bet on the US dollar valuation. You can bet on the relative valuation to go down. You can borrow an altcoin, swap it against Bitcoin, have your loan denominated in the borrowed altcoin. Then when the altcoin underperforms versus Bitcoin, after a while you swap it back, you pay off the loan, you make money. That's in 10 seconds how it works. I have explained this in way more detail also in Premium, with tutorial videos, with screen shares, with click-by-click guides. So if you're actually interested in shorting altcoins, feel free to check it out. It's down below, TheBitcoinTrader.com. I personally will reshuffle my portfolio very soon again. I will get away from the altcoin trading. I will start again with shorting, because again, this market right now is trash. We don't see expansion anymore. When there's nothing expanding, then capital concentrates, and that means that more and more altcoins tend to bleed versus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So again, feel free to check it out, the premium membership. There's also a Telegram channel down below. The Telegram channel is 100% free. Looking forward to chatting with you over there. Feel free to also give this a like, helps the channel grow. And if it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe as well. See you next time. Cheers.